What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jeremy. This is Fishing Lone Star, and I'm going to do a review video today of some baits that I just picked up from Scheels. And believe it or not, I spent a little over $300, and would love to know, first of all, if you think it's worth it. And the baits and lures I picked up, I actually think I picked up a pretty great selection of baits and lures, but one in particular was the most expensive lure that I've ever purchased, which is why the bill was so high. But anyways, let's review them. We'll break it down, let you know what all I purchased, and you tell me what you think about them. Before we do that, they're all laid out behind me. Before we get to them, I want to call out the awesome Fishing Lone Star shirts and merch. They're available from Honey Hole. Awesome buddy of mine, Drew, who runs that out of Louisiana. So I'll leave a link below, but if you want to support the channel, you want to grab you a Fishing Lone Star shirt, we've got black and white lettering, or we've also got like an army green and black lettering. So hit the link below, they'll be in the description. Go check them out. All right, speaking of checking them out, let's get to these baits. All right, we're gonna start with some soft plastics that I picked up first. And this is the Spark Shad. You can see this is kind of like a really cool shad color, kind of a bluish black on top, silver on bottom. All right, this is the 4-inch version, as you can see in the Spark Shad, but then I also picked up the 5-inch version, and this is more of like a baby bass color. You can kind of see a little bit of green shad, gizzard shad color. So this actual color, in case you guys want to know, is Royal Gill, as you can see there by Megabass. All right, that 4-inch Spark Shad. I plan on throwing these on an underspin or just an EWG swim bait hook or as a trailer. All right, and then also picked up the 5-inch version. I too will throw these on a big 5/0 EWG or an underspin, but love the glitter in those. And then one thing that I actually really come to like are the stroker crawls from 6 Cents, right? These are a really good presentation that I like to throw even just on a Texas rig, right? I like to just kind of flip and pitch them. But these claws will really flap and have a lot of movement, and it's actually a lot of natural movement. So whether you're gonna just drag them along bottom, whether you want to throw them as a swim jig trailer or just a trailer to any jig, these two appendages right here, kind of the claws, kick and flap a lot, right? Kind of a bluegill-ish color. This particular color actually is called green pumpkin juice. All right, so not necessarily my favorite color, but I thought it was a good natural color for clear bodies of water when fish are feeding on bluegill. So that was the third one I picked up. All right, let's now move on to some hard baits. And as you can see here, I picked up a plethora. Whoops, that didn't work out very well. Try that again. But I picked up still didn't work. All right, we'll just do it this way. I picked up a plethora of the DT crankbaits from Rapala. I've got a couple of 16s that I picked up, all right? And that color is green gizzard shad, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, green gizzard shad. All right, so I picked up 3 of those in the DT 16, all right? Those will actually probably only dive about 12 to 13 foot with the fluorocarbon that I'm using, but I picked those up. Picked up a couple more, actually one more DT 16. This color is probably my favorite. There was only one in stock, probably because it's everyone else's favorite too, but that is Citrus Shad. Citrus Shad just really seems to work on clear water, stained water. It does really well. So another 16. And then the other 3 that I picked up, 2 10s and 1 14. The 14, DT 14, as you can see here, is more of a bluegill pattern. That's actually the color is bluegill, but thought that's going to be great for kind of spring and fall on some deeper channel creek slings when fish are feeding on bluegill. All right, DT 14, which will probably go like that 10 to 12 foot, and then a DT 10, which will probably go closer to 8 feet. And you can see here also that green gizzard shad. So I went with a lot of natural colors. Obviously, that's just what tends to work for me. I've used the DT6 and the DT8 quite a bit. I just needed some deeper divers, so picked up each of those 7 total. All right, next that I'm going to show you is my favorite lure of all time. I've actually caught my PB on this lure and kind of went a little crazy in how many of these I got. But I did pick up the Uzi Swimmer, and in this hand is the 3/8 ounce 4/0 hook, and this hand is the 1/2 ounce 4/0 hook. You can see I picked 4 up of these and 3 up of these. But these two here are actually the same color. I really like this from a bluegill presentation. It's a really cool color that Megabass makes. That color is called I don't know if it's Gripan, I don't know. But anyways, there's the color for that one. I really like those. Again, bluegill pattern. And then pretty much all of the rest, as you'll see, are the same color. That one's actually missing because I've got it tied on right now. But the rest of them are the same color. This color continues to get it done for me in Texas. And it is Hasu, I believe is how you pronounce that, H-A-S-U. But this color, the reason why I like it is it actually mimics a shad really well. All right, so it has that shad profile, but this kind of black and silver at the top also mimics crappie, like a smaller baby crappie. And big bass eat crappie, big bass eat shad. This color works extremely well. It's obviously got that willow blade down here on the bottom. You can see in this package a little bit better, right down here. So it's an underspin, but it does have a weed guard up here, so it's also kind of like a swim jig. This just really works well. I kind of throw it, the 3/8 ounce, I throw in 5 to 8 foot of water and just slow roll it along the bottom. Whereas the 1/2 ounce is more of like a 8 to 10 foot that I use. And then I do have a 1/4 ounce, just not shown here, that I will throw if it's like 3 to 5 foot or somewhere in that range. But this color right here paired with the 210, that's the color name, 210 Swammer from Egg Zone, just flat out catches a lot of big fish. So I would highly recommend these, but as you can see, I stocked up on them and got a bunch, and I even have a couple more on my shelf and a couple more already in the boat in the tackle box. So they're just my favorite lure, so I got a bunch of them. All right, we're saving the most expensive lure I've ever purchased for last. All right, and that is this big boy right here, right? This is the Clutch, one of the Clutch swim baits in a crappie pattern. As you can see here, OG crappie is the color, right? So it's not, as I say, it's huge. It's a 6-inch. I think it's between 2 and 3 ounce swim bait. It's a jointed, just one joint, but kind of like that glide style bait. It comes in, what I really like about the packaging, and I've kind of left it in here for this reason, let me fix this hook. But what I really like about the packaging is if you open it here, you'll see that it's kind of zip tied to the top. So when it's hanging or just being stored, it doesn't really shift or mess up the tail, right? So I've kind of kept it stored in this box. But I will be throwing this on one of my big Lewis rods and a Super Duty reel. However, I want to give a shout out to the guys at Scheels really quickly, all right? Because I was buying this and they said, hey, what line are you using with this big of a swim bait? I normally throw a 20-pound fluorocarbon, and Ethan, who's up there, said, hey, I'm going to just recommend that instead you get a trilene big game, all right? But you get the 25-pound mono. So trilene big game mono is what that sticker says before it was kind of annihilated. And the 25-pound, right? 25-pound mono. And the reason why is because when you're throwing these big swim baits, if it does reach the end of your line, or say you have a backlash and it gets stuck, you could then snap this thing off, right? And it is a slow sinking. It's not a floater. So you would then lose a well over $100 lure. I think this was either $120 or $140, I can't remember, but this was obviously the bulk of the purchase. I did have a gift card, guys, all right? So this was like a Father's Day, birthday combined gift card, right, that I used to purchase this, but this was the biggest purchase out of all of those and the most expensive lure I've purchased to date. All right, so y'all drop me a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite one is. Is it the Uzi Swimmer, Stroker Crawl, Spark Shad, swim bait, obviously plus the line, or is it the DT crankbaits? A lot of awesome colors here, a lot of colors that work really well in the lakes that I be fishing. But let me know what you think. Let me know if this was worth it or not worth the purchase at Scheels. But I will tell you, whatever you need from Scheels, they have, and their fishing experts can also give you helpful tips, like, for example, picking up the right line to throw a big swim bait. So stop into Scheels, grab everything that you need, all right? Go have a great day on the water. And if nobody told you, God loves you, and so do I. Peace out.